Let's go! Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe Ella of Rita, we have Andrea Catania. Would you have Andrea, Allison, all these fine folks?
I don't know.
We're exploring the superpower of Integrous influence. Thanks for being here. Masters are present, Bella. Who are they?
Masters are present, Sean Callaghy. And first from San Diego, California, CEO, storyteller, and digital marketing expert, led her team to over a billion views.
Oh, I think I may have met this person.
Yes.
Let's go.
And chart-topping podcast, establishing herself as a trusted name in digital production, creates captivating content, elevating brands, consistently exceeding client expectations. Let's welcome to the show, Monse Trejo.
Thanks for having me here, guys. Appreciate it.
Monse, I've heard extraordinary things. Welcome to the party. Thanks for being here. And please, Plato, the Greek philosopher, said, play a game with me for an hour, and we will learn more about each other than if we speak for a year. So we kick this game off with a fun fact. It's a headline, not a story. For example, I'm a blind person. I am. That's taught sighted people like this one to ski, surf, and scuba dive in the most extreme of conditions. Sometimes she cries, sometimes she's happy, but it's the truth, right? So that would be an example of a fun fact headline versus, so one day I met Bella. It was back and, like that's a story. So please, what is your fun fact headline? That could be an adventurous moment, a proud moment, surprising moment, a masterful moment, anything that will make us say,
no way!
Yeah, so 2 months ago, I got married to the love of my life. We were together for 10 years out in Bali, and we dragged all our family over there. So it was a great and gorgeous time for all of us.
Congratulations. Our hearts are full and warm. And wait a minute. Didn't your sister get deported from Bali?
She did.
So Bella's sister got deported from Bali. Story for a different day. Yes. Congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you.
She was literally deported from Bali. More on that for congratulations.
Yes, 2 days after I arrived for a 10-day vacation,
yes.
She was deported.
So who else is here to speak?
Thank you, Monse. Let's go next up from Portland, Oregon, best-selling author, leading media and marketing expert, founder, previously served as editor-in-chief of an industry magazine, featured in major outlets like Forbes, Entrepreneur, Huffington Post, has advised Fortune 500 companies, celebrities, and executives instrumental in elevating top-tier athletes, entrepreneurs, and influencers, helping them achieve lasting success and industry impact. Let's welcome to the show, Dylan Kevough.
Hey! You make me sound good.
Dylan, welcome to the party. You sit in the 1 in 100 who actually speaks as their introduction concludes, which shows your extroverted mastery in creating impressions on the group. So congratulations. I am not confused. And please, Dylan, your fun fact. Welcome to the 8,000 people that have been on this show. Thanks, Dylan. Please.
I would say, as far as my fun fact, in 2018, I was the first person in the world to put a CBD billboard in the center of Times Square on a like just a massive, the 100 by 100 foot billboard. So I would say that.
Well, Dylan, thank you. Appreciate that. Congratulations on all of your impact. And every time I get that whiff, I go, Bella, your dad must be nearby. So, Dylan, awesome. Bella, let's go.
I think we should put your face next to like a CBD billboard in Times Square. That could be fun and interesting.
Fun, interesting. Since I will give you my CBD fun fact in a little bit. Yes.
Okay. Next up, Los Angeles, California, internationally best-selling author, agent representing representing icons like Magic Johnson, Hulk Hogan, David Goggins, and the late Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, to name a few, negotiating over $750 million in marketing deals over 30 years, 16 years sober. Congratulations. A global advocate for addiction recovery, dedicated to giving back, believing in the power of second chances, and improving lives through partnership with treatment centers and mental health initiatives. Let's welcome to the show, Darren Prince.
This dude has got some crazy fun facts. Darren, amazing, brother. And please, your fun fact. Welcome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. What an intro. I would say probably mastering the art of relationship building with some of the biggest athletes and celebrities in the world that aren't exactly the easiest to master the art of relationship building with.
Yeah. And Darren, I'm sitting next to one of those stars right here and building relationships with her.
Difficult? I'm not difficult. Why am I difficult? Why do you think I'm difficult?
If Darren tried to get you to be easy, it would be easier than putting Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali in the same room like he did. Like, yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Darren, thank you, brother, for all that you've done. And it was one of the most heartwarming fun fact stories I ever heard was what you did for those fine folks. So, Darren, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for being here. Next up from New York, top-ranked corporate and securities lawyer, mergers, acquisitions, guiding public and private companies across industries, including cannabis and psychedelics. Recognized as the cannabis law trailblazer, advising on corporate structuring, regulation compliance, high-profile transactions, author of several influential books, regularly speaking at industry conferences, bleeding legal expertise with entrepreneurial insight. Let's welcome to the show, David Feldman.
Thanks for having me.
David, warm welcome. Congratulations on all of your impact and success in the world. And please, your fun fact.
Well, before my fun fact, I should say I am 6 years California sober, as we like to say. And
I'm curious.
What
does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
It means I only smoke weed.
That's like your dad.
Never heard that before?
No. Did you ever see the Brady Bunch, David?
Only in my entire life.
Yes. So, like the definition of square, that's what Bella says I am.
Yes.
So, yes. So, I am as square as they come.
Yes.
They would mock me at Columbia University in college by calling me All-American Boy or Luke Skywalker. So, those are my mocks coming my way. But yes, I love the California soberness. And is that your fun fact or do you have more, David?
No. My fun fact is that my 22-year-old son is a Broadway and movie star, having been the star of Dear Evan Hansen at age 16 on Broadway, and also co-starring with Jennifer Lawrence last year in the hit movie No Hard Feelings, and is now in the new movie Saturday Night that just came out about Saturday Night Live, where he plays the assistant to Lorne Michaels and has a very funny scene involving cannabis.
Wow. Oh my God. One of my daughter's favorite plays was Evan Hansen. That's incredible. I had no idea.
2019, he was Evan Hansen for that whole year.
Wow, dude, congratulations on all of that impact.
And he's off my payroll, which is nice.
Yes. I will. That is the most important thing I will tell my daughter. Yes. So thank you for that, brother, and warm welcome. We got some incredible people.
We do have some incredible people. This is a fun day. Next up from West Hollywood, California, CEO and founder of leading teams across LA and Mexico City, helping early stage founders develop impactful digital products, collaborating with over 50 designers, engineers, and venture partners as an investor and an early advisor, passionate for alternative investments, empowering angel investors, high net worth individuals, and family offices to make smarter, strategic portfolio decisions. Let's welcome to the show, Jordan Rothstein.
Thank you.
Jordan, warm welcome to the Heart of Influence. Andrea Catania, Allison Armstrong style. Thanks for being here. And please, your fun fact.
Absolutely. Well, first, lots of recovery on the call, Darren. I love it. I've got 2.5 years sober.
Congratulations.
And I just launched, we were talking about the Brady Bunch. I actually just launched the BradyExperience.com. It's a virtual tour and sweepstakes to go visit the Brady house in Encino.
Wow.
Just funny timing here, but my fun fact is I won the juggling contest in 8th grade, juggling for over 2 hours straight. So,
oh my God, dude, that is
balls in the air.
How many things were you juggling?
Just 3 balls.
But dude, 3 balls for 2 hours. That's unbelievable. Congratulations. And is the Brady house, is it still there, relatively intact or no?
Yeah, a woman named Tina Trahan bought the house, renovated it like HGTV style, and wanted to do a sweepstakes to invite people out to the house.
I totally want to do that. I so want to go there. I can't even tell you. I've seen every Brady Bunch episode ever. Yes, I so want to go there. So thank you for this. Lots to talk about, Bella Verita. This is my favorite. Okay. 8,000 people have been on the show. And we always say, hey, that's a top whatever fun fact. I'm not joking. That is my #1 favorite fun fact ever. And we've had the craziest, like people saving lives from great white sharks and all these things, right? That is my favorite because I had no idea the Brady Bunch house could even conceived that it would be relatively approachable and intact.
Now I know what we're doing next time we go to LA.
Let's go.
Let's go. Next up from New York, a seasoned entrepreneur with over 25 years, including founding a private equity firm, driving growth for founders, valuing personal connections, and recognizing the unique contributions of each individual. Known for his relentless drive, transform industries, and empowered countless businesses to achieve extraordinary success. Let's welcome to the show, James Amo Amorosi. And you don't want to mess with this guy because his nickname is Ammo, like bang bang. Bang bang.
James, your fun fact is you're carrying a Glock, or otherwise your fun fact is?
Well, we'll stay with the theme. I spent a lot of time in the Far East, especially when I was younger. I competed over there. And an interesting thing is I lived in a Zen temple for 6 months, and that was very interesting. So,
and James, what were you competing in?
Martial arts.
Beautiful. Like kumite, like, like
I fought professionally in my younger days.
That's awesome.
So I lived in Japan for many years, and I loved it. But the Zen temple thing was very unique for me, growing up as a guy in the inner city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much. Did you fight in the Zen temples too, or no?
No, Zen temple, you meditate and get beat up.
I know.
So,
Fighting and Zen temple don't go together.
Yes, I am picturing like Batman Begins. Yeah, like sitting in with Ra's al Ghul with the League of Shadows. Am I like seeing something relatively correctly or no?
Yes, you are. You're right on point.
Let's go.
Thank you, James. Next up, also from New York, with over 30 years of experiencing confidentially advising C-suite leaders of publicly traded companies and VC funds.
I know that's not me.
No, and not her. And I don't think she's, maybe she had some connection issues, so we'll come back. So
Yeah.
now,
Diane didn't make it. Darn.
yeah, no, she was here but left, so probably some connection issues. So now, as Danny was highlighting, quite appropriately from Western Colorado, since 1995, committed to altering society's culture by transforming the way women and men relate to each other and themselves, shifting relationships of tens of hundreds of thousands of women, men from 13 to 90 years old, from advisories with opposing instincts to the paradigm of partnership. An educator, advocate, author, philosopher, proposing new ways of understanding human behavior and practical approaches to more support, joy, and fulfillment through her lives and online curriculum. Let's welcome to her show, Miss Alison Armstrong.
Thank you.
By the way, Alison, who I think you recently had a podcast as well that had 500,000-ish downloads. Was that, am I hearing that correctly?
It's really close. It's the Ellen Fisher podcast. It's really close. Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. Well, Alison, thank you for everything that you bring to the world. I fancy Alison as the greatest expert in relationships who doesn't believe relationships actually exist. That's its own beautiful, fun thing. And she won't say this, but I will. The Tony Robbins relationship content is her work. Tony's put her on her stage, like edified her to no end. The entire Tony universe is like Alison Armstrong crazed, as are many different ecosystems in the world. So Alison, is an honor, a privilege. Thank you so much. And please, Alison, what would you like us to know? And what's your fun fact?
Well, I was thinking about this theme of sobriety, and which is, oh my gosh, about 1 million victories of human spirit to be sober from anything. And I'm not sober from chocolate. But 33 years ago in August, I gave up emasculating men forever.
Oh, Alison drops the mic. As always, Alison, thank you for that. Appreciate you. And Alison and I have a webinar coming up, which I'm very grateful for, that we're pushing 3,000 people registered for, and we're confident by next week it'll get to 4,000 plus. So Alison, we'd love and appreciate you for everything that you do in the world. And are you ready to just have a little bit of Alison Armstrong mischievous fun today?
Good.
Because I'm going to share a fact. Am I allowed to share any fun fact about you I want, Alison, or I have like limits?
I don't think I specifically shared anything with you that you can't share, although some things might be shocking. So let's see how much of a shock genie.
He likes shock factor, let me tell you.
So thank you for that, Alison.
He remembers everything.
We appreciate it.
Could I be unspotlighted while you're doing this?
Yes, perfect. So let's go.
Next up from Nutley, New Jersey, the deal attorney, having led over 200 capital market transactions in the past 25 years, taking companies public in the 7 different ways to do so. 2 years out of law school, built a $1 million solo practice from her basement as a single mom with 2 young daughters, proudly serving for over a decade on the board of National Investment Banking Association, helping companies get connected to thousands of members and funding sources, executive producer of The Heart of Influence, general counsel, and chief ecosystem officer at Callagy Law. Let's welcome to the show, Miss Andrea Catania.
And Andrea, just for those that are taking notes at home, capital market transactions means that there's 7 different ways to take a company public, but you've taken 200 companies public in the 7 different ways you can.
You know what? We finally have someone on the show who knows about all the details, David. And now we don't want to get into the Reg A's, the de-SPACs, the SPACs, the reverse mergers. But yes. Lots of
fancy why she's doing it.
11s, Form 10s, lots of fun.
Amazing.
You want to hear my fun fact?
Yes.
Okay. 61 years old. And I do this not for fitness. I do this for self-mastery. I'm up to 800 push-ups a day, 100 per session. And Sean, I have to thank you for that. Not as my fitness coach, but as my business and life coach. Because I get way more done because I'm infusing myself with endorphins throughout the day. So that's my fun fact.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. A beast, 61 years old, and she's going on like 22. So thank you for that, Andrea. Awesome job. And now I'm going to introduce this woman who's been doing all the introducing. Let's give her props, first of all. Diagnosed with dyslexia and still making all these incredible inventions. She began her career as a person of influence, not an influencer, a person of influence with mastery and integrity, selling crafts on her parents' front lawn as an 8-year-old. She progressed to putting 3 words together that don't make any sense: teenager, 7 figures, and network marketing. 19 years old, 7-figure business generating in the space of network marketing. Then at 24, 25, and 26, she's three-peating like Jordan, but not in hoops, but instead is Nevada's #1 business broker in a male-dominated industry. She's the first woman ever to, in fact, be Nevada's #1 business broker, let alone to do it at 24 as the youngest person ever, male or female, and do it 2 more times in a row. She begins to train entrepreneurs and Fortune 500 companies, leadership, influence, speaking. And in fact, she was so successful at it that in 2019, every sales team she worked with doubled their sales. Skier, surfer, scuba diver, adventurer. Maybe she'll learn it from a blind man. Maybe she'll learn it on YouTube. Depends on how much she likes the blind man in that minute. And it changes 5 times a day. Philanthropist raising $10 million plus with the Unblinded team. 2-time about to be 3-time published author. And in 2023, this heart-centered, courageous woman that put the heart in the heart of influence, co-hosting her more than 1,350th episode, publicly battled and defeated cancer. Let's welcome to the heart of influence, the one, the only, Bella Verita. Miss Bella Verita, your fun fact.
I'm going to go with this fun fact. And Miss Allison Armstrong, I'm not sure if this is emasculating or not, but I'm going to go with the fun fact that I have moved Sean out of his corner office in our 19,000 square foot headquarters here, moved him out so that our Doberman had a place to hang out during the day. So the Doberman now has the corner office, and Sean just wanders around. I'm not sure if that's emasculating or not, but that's my fun fact for today.
Yes, and somebody today is like, it smells weird in here. I'm like, it's a long story. Okay, so thank you very much for that, Bella Verita, and let's go.
Let's go. Let me introduce my co-host, the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. He beats world champions like Bet Key at body surfing competitions. He's only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one that is blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. In fact, the state of New Jersey actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. I mean, he did build and sell his first law firm 2 years out of law school with $100,000 in debt. He is an incredible speaker that has spoken on stages such as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 18 times. And when he's not busy flying around speaking on stages, he's an incredible philanthropist that raised nearly $10 million for refugees in the Ukraine. Let's welcome my co-host, Mr. Sean Callagy.
Thank you, Bella. Thank you, Andrea, Allison, everybody for being here. It really is an honor. I am present to Mastery. We run a lot of Hearts of Influence, but this is like the top shelf version with Allison, Andrea, and all of you. So thank you so much for being here today. And I'm going to go with this is my fun fact. I have never smoked pot or done any drug in my entire life. Period.
It's very sad.
So very good friends of mine, and I use the word friend very advisedly, do I not? I don't I don't call Tony Robbins my friend. Tony's called me his dear friend from stage in front of 5,000 people. I've never called him my friend. I don't think we should try to up level by saying somebody's our friend that's like, in a stratosphere above us in terms of their identity and reach, right? So, but Rebecca Keaton, Siri Lindley are my friends. They speak on Tony's stage. Siri's one of the great speakers around. I love these people. So they have an event with Melissa Etheridge, who's going to come, and it's like 20 of us on the ranch, and we're raising money for horse rescue. Super amazing. I have become very acquainted with Melissa Etheridge. Again, some people would probably say friend. We've had lunch together, different things, but I wouldn't say that. So Melissa's there, and she has a cannabis company, and she's raising money for the horses. And we get into a circle, and Melissa wants everybody to sample her cannabis. So this starts going around the circle, right? And it gets to me, and my fun fact is I passed to Bella, who then passed to Melissa Etheridge. That is my fact for today.
Yes. I'm California sober too.
And I literally did hold my breath, and turn my head As I pass.
There was no gonna be. I only inhaled or what?
Yes, I want it very clear. I've gone 50 plus years on this planet without. I'm finishing. Right? Yeah. So if I get to 100, then I'll smoke. But yes, who's going first?
Yeah, I think you also made some bets with my dad though that you would smoke with him at some point if he did something. So you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Okay.
Let's kick this off with Muncie.
Okay, so Muncie, here's what we're doing. We could all get together, play beach volleyball. I mean, we could be smoking weed and puff passing the most Etheridge. We could be in the Capitol Grove for a private room, but instead of for an hour, we're here together to have a shared experience to meet incredible people. And we do say that Plato thing, like play a game with me for an hour and we'll learn more about each other, ... right? So to kick this game off, we're exploring also the superpower of influence. And this is sophisticated, masterful group, Muncie. And pitching, hooking, closing, yuck. And I have been fascinated for 27 years with how human beings cause influence with each other, but with heart and integrity. What does that look like? And how do we cause yeses that should happen, not yeses where we overpower people, manipulate people, lie to people, negotiate and try to make people do things they don't want to, all those things. The antithesis of that I've discovered is actually possible. In fact, Muncie, I've been on Tony Robbins' stage following somebody up who's tried to close people and settle them in front of 4,000 people. And I walked up on stage and I said, you know what? You know what I smell? I smell the whiff of sales in the air. Can you feel that disgusting stench? Scott Humphrey, Tony Robbins' brother-in-law, almost had a heart attack as I said that. And then we broke every sales record they ever had at Business Mastery. So this is what we talk about here. But what does that look like when you integriously step forward and make things beautifully happen with people? So to illustrate this, it's super easy. We're not selling anything. It's not Wolf of Wall Street meets Boiler Room. But instead, Muncie, what does it look like just to cause a yes with Bella, perhaps for a longer meeting? So she could be an ideal client. She could be a charitable fundraising partner. Heck, she could be somebody really famous like Oprah Winfrey or Warren Buffett, anyone that you'd want to create a yes with, or any avatar, but not having to be the final yes or a sale or something like that. So Muncie, who would you like Bella to be that you're going from hello to yes with?
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it's all in the power of giving a story. That's how you influence so many people. It's like the power of connection and how you can influence someone through a story that you've gone through yourself. For example, for me, let's take it way back then when I actually.
Okay. Could we do this then? So can you say, would you like Bella to be herself? Would you like her to be somebody that can hire you as a client?
Let's have Bella be someone that can hire me as a client.
Awesome. And who would that be? Like, what is your ideal
Let's
person?
say someone that's looking to upgrade their podcast and get social media going and create content.
That's her. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Hello, this is Bella.
Hi, Bella. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I was referred to you by Sean Callaghy. He said that you could help make me famous. He said that you could help me somehow with my podcast, that you could, help with content. So I thought I would reach out and see, how we might be able to work together.
Love Sean for that. He's such a great human being. Love that he put us together. Definitely like that. But before I get into what it is that we do, can you tell me a little bit more about what you currently have and then what your goals are for your podcast and social media?
Yeah, I would say right now is we have a podcast. I like to call it a pod show because it's more than a podcast because we have anywhere from like 6 to 8 guests on. We bring them together. We play a little game. It's super fun. Everybody always leaves and says, I had no idea what to expect, but I had so much fun. And I like to say this pod show is really about connecting people that not could do a deal together, but that could do multiple deals together.
I love that. And then as far as like social media goes, what are you doing on social media currently that you feel is not working at the moment?
What's not working is like, you have to post content every day and like lifestyle stuff. And I hate sharing my life. Like I do some really amazing things, like taking a private helicopter to a private island to go scuba diving. I don't post any of that. Like it feels icky to me. Sitting front row at the Mets game, like, I could post that content, but it's just like, I just hate posting my life and it takes me out of the moment, right? Like I don't want to be like at the Mets game, you know, posting content and freaking miss a great bat or something. So that's my biggest issue. And then I'll get really good at posting for like days and I'll be super consistent and then I won't post for a month and a half.
So it's the consistency side. But I will say, you just told me on the podcast, you love having people connect and, you know, getting to learn from one another and all that. So on social media, you can actually have people follow you to learn from your own stories or from your own experiences at the same time too. So you're almost doing like a double whammy right there with the podcast or the pod show, along with your social media, where they want to connect with you even more, along with finding even more guests for the pod show. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be amazing. If you could help me not be allergic to consistency, then maybe we can have a conversation.
Absolutely. So the next step here is finding you the social media manager that can go ahead and fill in all those little cracks and crevices that you cannot fulfill or just don't have the time to fulfill, along with helping you along with the podcast and finding guests for the podcast there also.
Sean, I'm going to be famous. We're going to start a new podcast and it's going to be about 3 different topics. I cannot wait to tell you about it. And then once we launch that one, then I have another idea that we're going to launch for a podcast too.
We just got her more time. Sorry.
Yes. Monse, this is I Love Lucy in the 21st century. Sitting next to me is I Love Bella. Let's go. Thank you, Monse. Great job. Who's following up, Monse? We'll get to the feedbackers in a moment. Really awesome job.
Let's go, Dylan.
Dylan, please. Who would you like Bella to be that you're going from hello to yes with?
Let's have Bella be a real estate agent that's just starting off in LA, California.
Oh, I love it. Let's go.
It's pretty specific.
Yes. All right. Hello, this is Bella.
Hello, Bella. Nice to meet you. I'm Dylan. So we see that you booked this call here with personalbranding.com. Just out of curiosity, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah. Thanks so much. I just started out in real estate. This is like, I just got my license and I'm in this crazy world of LA. And I think I could be like on the next, I really want to be on like the next, what's that show? Like Sunset Realtor.
Selling Sunset?
Selling Sunset. Yes. I think I'm ready for Selling Sunset.
Okay, cool. So before we dive into that, I do have just a couple key questions for you. Just out of curiosity, why real estate? What's drawn you towards that profession?
Well, I think you can make a lot of money and see some really cool houses.
Okay, so this is more like of a money thing. Do you have a passion for real estate?
I have a passion for helping people. And, I was always, my mom was a realtor and I was always going in along with her. And I always just thought like seeing all the houses was so cool.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, it is. It's an awesome profession. And here at personalbranding.com, a large percentage of our clients are real estate agents, whether they're in LA, Chicago, New York. So we have a ton of experience helping new real estate agents get from where you are to where you want to be. Have you done anything as far like in regards to media, PR, social media? Tell me a little bit of what you've done so far.
Well, I signed up for an Instagram account last week. So I'm new on Instagram and that Facebook thing too. I'm on there too. And yeah, that's what I've done.
So as far as PR, like getting into the news, have you done any of that so far or not yet?
I can be on the news.
So here's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna give you a scenario, like a rundown of what we've done with people in similar positions as you're in right now. How does that sound?
Okay, that would be great. Like starting brand new.
Totally brand new. Imagine this is your first week on the job.
Okay.
So essentially, see with real estate in that profession, it's really important that you're utilizing your personal brand to help you drive sales, right? So whether do you want to be representing more so buyers or sellers?
I think sellers.
Okay, cool. So as far as for these sellers to find you, what most people do, I don't know if you've sold a house or if you know much about it. I know that this is something that you're getting into. What most sellers do is they use Google to search, real estate agents in LA, California, XYZ. So what we do here at personalbranding.com is we make you more visible so that people can find you and they can discover you. If they can't find you,
So
they're not
I don't
gonna call
have to
you.
do any cold calling or any of that stuff. You're going to make people call me.
That's the goal. Yes.
And then can you get me on Selling Sunset?
I can't promise you that, but what we can do is build up your personal brand so that they find you, and we have to build up your following. And I've got a great buddy who named Monty, who can also help out with the social media aspect and growing your podcast as well. So what we're going to do is
I'm going to be a famous realtor and be on Selling Sunset.
Yes, this is perfect. And just
And they're going to call me.
Yes.
And I'm going to hire Dylan, and my phone is going to ring all day long. I am sure of it.
And is my credit card involved in this?
Hey, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Dylan, awesome job, brother. Really awesome job. We're going to get to the feedbackers now.
So judges, otherwise known as feedbackers, this is a time that we get to give back in the form of feedback. And so it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Monsi or Dylan, something that they did great, something they could do to improve, and then like a little scoring system. Like, what's the next step? Is that next step you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have a longer conversation with Monsi or Dylan? I don't think you want to do that because it sounds like they both could make you famous. So I don't think we're going for root canals today. But maybe that next step is like, a little mocha chocolate latte, a little pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks for a little bit longer of a meeting. But if that's not enough time, then you would be willing to rent a private room at the Capitol Grill, getting the seafood tower and the nice juicy steak. Unless you're a vegan, of course, maybe you're having salad and French fries, but you're not going to skip out on dessert because you definitely want to have the longest meeting possible with Dylan or Monsi. But if that's still not enough time, then you would be willing to rent a private jet, of course, pick up Allison and Andrea because they did invite you here, and fly anywhere in the world to have the longest meeting possible with Dylan or Monsi, because you can have a long conversation on an international flight. So let's kick this off with Jordan. And Jordan, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Monsi?
Yeah, Monty, I thought you did a great job. I love how you asked a lot of questions, kind of honed in on some of her pain points. Overall, I thought that approach was great. I think, I like to look at sales as what's the kind of lead magnet tripwire in order to get to that big deal. So offering some value up front, trying to get to next steps towards the end. You did a good job explaining, your offering, but what are those next steps that you need to take with her to get things started?
Awesome. Thank you, Jordan. And Jordan, what would the next step be with Monsi? We're talking, a little cup of mocha chocolate latte, maybe that long dinner, private jet flight. What is it?
Yeah, I think it's the mocha chocolate latte, get a feel for, her brand a little bit more, maybe come to the table with some social media ideas at that mocha chocolate latte.
Cool. Let's go. That is the invented caffeinated unblinded beverage, since I don't drink coffee either. So one day I'm like, one of those things you drink, like a mocha chocolate latte or something.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Jordan. Please.
Let's next go David. David, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Dylan?
So Dylan, I thought you did a great job. I think you were trying to understand Bella's motivations and her passions. You were explaining your experience and your capabilities without being too overwhelming about it. And the most important thing, I think, was that you offered some kind of free advice. You said, here's a little bit of guidance and so on, some ideas. And I've always been a strong believer, and I think Andrea knows this from our experiences, that in business and in life, I think you need to be a giver. And you need to just offer guidance and assistance to people without any expectation of something in return. And sometimes you get burned, but most of the time, it comes back and benefits you.
Amen. Great job, David. And David, what would the next step be? A little cup of coffee, seafood tower, nice juicy steak, something more. What do you got?
I'm a big believer in doing things in person, which is why COVID drove me nuts. This is nice and great, but to me, getting together with people makes such a difference. So absolutely. I think lunch. I vote for lunch.
Let's go, David. And by the way, I happen to have had the privilege of being a top client. In fact, I was their top client in 2018, 2019, the Capitol Grill in Northern New Jersey here in Paramus. And what I decided was, it took a lot of time. So the way that we approach things now is we use the Heart of Influence as like an initial sort of like relationship filtering tool. And then we decide if we graduate from there. So I share that with everybody because all relationships, of course, are built on shared experiences. But how do we have a shared experience with create some efficiency if we think it's worthwhile to go further? So I completely align. Awesome feedback, David. And thank you, Bella.
Thank you, David. Let's go, James. James, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Monsi?
Okay. Honestly, I thought you did a great job controlling the conversation with questions, and you were trying to nail down her motivation. I feel like the guidance you gave her in terms of her your questioning actually answered some of the questions that were pertinent to getting a closing a deal, where you asked her about her social media and what is she currently doing to do that. I mean, she gave you answers right there that you could take to the bank, right? So I thought you did a great job with that. And I think the tone that you used with her was very powerful as well, your tonality.
Yeah.
Awesome, James. Appreciate that. Next step, we're looking at a silent Buddhist temple, maybe fighting the Kumite or dinner, coffee. What will come next, James?
I think a little dinner and a little dinner and coffee and a little meditation. You know what I mean? I think would go nice together. You know?
Absolutely.
I don't know though if meditating and coffee go together very
They do
well.
for James. They do for James. Yeah.
That's a caffeinated meditation.
You know what? Can you get Bella coffee and have her meditate? That might work. I like this. And a little martial arts training for Bella. No, maybe not.
After the double espresso, right? A little meditation.
Yes, that is perfect, James. Thank you. Yes.
Let's go, Darren. Darren, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Dylan? If you just want to unmute for us, Darren.
I think you did a tremendous job, not just with your worldly experience and listening, but I think it was very impactful. I think you were very aware of the situations on both sides. I love the fact that you're also a great listener, which is very important in today's world. And like one of the other gentlemen said, sharing your wisdom and being of service to guide somebody with absolutely nothing in return. That's exactly what I'm about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Feel that, know that, Darren. Awesome job, brother.
Oh, great job, Darren. Let's go, Andrea Catania. How about your 30 seconds of feedback from Monsi?
Monsi, I loved your energy. You, even if no one could see your smiling face, we could all hear it. And you took the time to have Bella really kind of step into things that maybe she needed by asking good questions. And you varied your energy a little bit. There was no monotone voice at all about what you delivered. And I think you kept her interest peaked. So great job. I can't even think of anything that you could have optimized because you did ask questions, and that's so important, and we could feel your heart. And next step, I want the juicy steak in the seafood tower.
Let's go. The woman's doing a lot of push-ups. Got to feed her.
They got to feed her.
Gotta feed her. Thank you for that, Andrew. Yeah.
And let's go, Allison Armstrong. Anything you would like to share?
Yeah, this woman. Let's open the mic. And what do you got, Allison? From there's few humans on the planet that have a deeper perspective, and this is my mastery in the world and what I've studied for 27 years. Have a greater degree of understanding of how humans relate to each other. So please, Allison, over to you.
Well, what I found really interesting, and it goes all the way back to the green room, right? So finding out that you already knew each other and the delight that Dylan had in seeing you come on, Monsi, and I just enjoyed both your curiosity in where Bella was starting and your compassion for her newbiness. Do you know? Like, I laughed at her about Instagram because I am such a dweeb with social media, but you didn't. Neither of you guys did. And I don't want to be famous, but she does. And so you'll get her on TV and Selling Sunsets. So the space that you held, that definitely not just the questions you asked, but how you asked them, and the sense that I had that you each and both enjoy what you do. that you love doing what you're doing. You're not impatient, like, yeah, I hope this is a good one. And so if I was going to pick something, I would use Sean's pull at the Capitol Grill. I would get a corner booth. I would sit between you guys. I'd be like in the corner and have you guys on either side. And I would just watch as the ball went back and forth. Whatever this history is, this friendship, this whatever it is, just like, where did this start and where did it go? And this is so cool. So thank you.
Lots of great conversations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. That's awesome. Yes. Now, with that being said, everyone, this is the place when Bella, likes to turn the tables on me, since Dylan and Monsi were so kind and they stepped onto the hot seat. She thinks it is only hospitable if she makes me do the same. Not in my contract, Jordan. I may hire you.
Yes. So as Allison and Andrea, they know, and everybody, this is the time in the show that I get to put my co-host on the hot seat in a scenario that he has no idea about, because I've been cooking them up as the show has been going on. Ultimately, Miss Allison, you get to choose. I listened last time, so I only have 2 scenarios for you today. You can choose from either one of those scenarios. And I just like to put on record that I did listen, because sometimes Sean says I don't. So put on record that I did listen to.
Curry Allison's favorite stuff.
You can change anything about it. Or if you're like, oh, that gave me an idea, I'd like to see Sean do this instead. You can do any of the above. Are you ready to hear what I have for today?
Yes. And I'm paying close attention because the configuration of this game is still somewhat mystifying for me. But I did think of something if I was going to make something up.
Oh, would you like to just share that? Because we can just go to that if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
let's
I
go.
would like Sean to be Monsi.
Okay.
Right? And he's talking to Jordan, who is the somewhat inscrutable Pete Alonso of the New York Mets.
That is crazy. I was thinking the same thing.
Seriously, and he wants to get to the next step with Pete about making Pete like the most loved Met in history.
Oh, that is good, Allison.
Oh my gosh.
That was good. Over to you.
All right. And so I am Monsi, right?
Yeah.
And I'm speaking to Jordan, who is Pete Alonso. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jordan, is this something you're up for, sir?
Absolutely up for it. I wish you picked a Dodger, but you know, I'll be Pete.
Not after last night.
After what you did to our Mets last night. Oh my goodness. That was
torture. That was torture.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I was traumatized deeply. Okay. So
I'll tell Dan, Sean, I'll tell Dan about that.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So hi, is Pete available?
Yeah, this is Pete.
Hey, Mr. Alonso, my name is Monsi. We had a 3-minute conversation scheduled for today. Is it still a good time for you?
Yeah, ball game starts in 10 minutes, but I'm free.
Okay. Are you sure this works for you? Because I know you got a lot going on with the Dodgers coming up. And I know you're going to even this thing up and head back to New York. Is it still a good time for you?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, Mr. Alonso, if I may ask, and I spoke to your team, your agent, what prompted you, though, to accept this conversation with me? I know we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds and counting. I will keep us to that. But I really want to know what's on your heart and mind about us having this conversation, please.
Yeah, my agent reached out and said you'd be the right guy to talk to. You know, I've been playing for the Mets for a while. I know I've got a pretty big name in baseball, struggled the last season, and we're in the postseason right now. I think I have an opportunity to play really well and make my name go down in the history books as one of the game's best.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, I apologize. My name is Monsi. I'm actually a woman, but, you know, appreciate all that. Can I share? Well, actually, one more question. So you have the most home runs in baseball since you've come into baseball, right? You broke the rookie home run record. You have this contract year coming up. There's a lot present. I'm hearing some degree of kind of want to do this. What lights your heart up? People love you in New York. Like, what do you feel? What lights you up? And what's the ultimate mission, vision, purpose for this career? Why do you want to be the greatest player ever? Like, what does that provide and cause that you feel deeply in your heart? Please, Mr. Alonso.
Ever since I was a kid, going to ball games with my dad, I fell in love with the sport of baseball, and that childhood dream of mine to play in front of a big stadium in a World Series and hit a home run that gave us the ball game, and hear the cheering, the crowds, the loud roars in the stadium, and just, go out there and compete every day and bring joy to our fans. That's what motivates me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Alonso. From that place, then, the desire to impact people, motivate fans, touch hearts. Can I share a couple of things in our final 60 seconds that may or may not resonate with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I had this unique, bizarre happenstance that I met through several different people. This gentleman by the name of Sean Callaghy, and he and I had a conversation about you, because he was talking about launching a podcast with me, and that's my mastery and my expertise. How do people bring their heart, their message, their impact to the world? And what he shared with me about you was his dad is 79 years old. His dad is in really poor health. And pretty much the foundation of their entire relationship is the New York Mets. Kind of like Billy Crystal talked about in City Slickers. Like, the one thing they could always talk about is baseball and the Mets. And with his dad in failing health, his dad had given up in many ways on life and on the Mets in the final game against the Brewers. And was hanging out, watching the game with a significant other, Bella Verita. He watched you after his dad gave up, and he said, how dare you, after 1986, ever give up on the Mets again? And you, his favorite player, his dad's favorite player, and his, hit the 3-run home run that saved the Mets season. And so, Mr. Alonso, what I am present to is who and what you are, sir. I'm present to that heart. And this is why people in New York love you. I have no question, no doubt in my mind, with your wit, your humor, your fun, your success, your mastery, and your heart, that you could take that identity to the world so unbelievably powerfully, but not in a wackadoo Kardashians kind of LA kind of way, but the grounded heart base of the Northeast, the New York metropolitan area, which is harsh and difficult and hard, but has a generational depth to it that we could bring forward through a podcast. And I know we're at time, but if our energy resonates at all, I'm simply proposing, Mr. Alonso, that we have a follow-up conversation for how you can become not only the face of the New York Mets, but the face of baseball, and potentially over the next 5 years, the face of all professional sports, bringing heart and integrity back to it. So, Mr. Alonso, what say you, sir, about the resonance or not of us having that follow-up 1-hour conversation to lay out a blueprinted plan that I'll invest my time and energy into, complimentary in honor of you and all you're doing, to see what we can do, sir?
I'd love that. Where'd you like to meet?
I will come to you or anywhere, hopefully in New York, watching you hit more home runs or whatever makes convenient. And shall I set that up with your team, or shall we set that up right now?
Let's do it right now. Steak and lobster. Friday at 8.
Done. And go hit 3 home runs in LA, and we'll see you in New York. Let's go.
All right.
Thank you. Out of roll, Jordan, how'd I do is, first of all, thank you. You're fun. Super fun as Pete Alonso. I love all the pregame commentary as well. How'd I do is Monsi having conversation with Mr. Pete Alonso. Please, Jordan.
Yeah, you did great. You really, pulled my heartstrings. So just the way that you approached the conversation and, talked about the personal experience that you had with, your father. But yeah, I thought it was great.
Awesome. And just, I would only share this. Every word I said was true. I had tears coming down my face. I can cry right now. And we were at the Mets games in winning against the Padres. And my dad was there, and he did not want to leave until every Met left the field. and he like is in a wheelchair pretty much at this point, and so whatever. And I meant every word I said. So Jordan, thank you for being here. Thank you for your mastery and sharing it with us. And overall, sir, how was your time today on Andrea Cattaneo, Alison Armstrong's Heart of Influence?
It was great. Yeah, thanks for having me. Great to meet everyone. Super fun, unique pod show, as you guys call it. I love it.
Well, thank you. And really great job. And thank you, Jordan. Monse, so impressed by you. I've heard so many wonderful things coming from the world of Dan Fleshman. Really excited to get to know you better. Fantastic job in the participant seat. How do I do as you, by the way? And how was your time overall in the Heart of Influence, Monse?
You did a great job doing myself. Honestly, I found my clone. I'm not going to lie. I can hire you to be my salesperson. Absolutely.
I keep some dresses in the office for him.
Yes.
So.
I love it. I love it. No, this is amazing. This was a very different experience that I'm used to for podcasts, but this is a pod show. So I got to come into that whole realization and stuff like that. But this was good to get everyone participating, sharing their stories. I'm a big believer on storytelling and stuff like that. So everyone had like a little bit of like things to say that has, some meaningful aspect to them. So great job on what you guys currently have here right now.
Oh, thanks, Monse. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you and your mastery. Thank you. Let's go, Darren. This dude is like, talk about heart. I mean, just heart everywhere, impact. Darren, thank you for being here today. And how was your time on the Heart of Influence?
I loved it. It's my first pod show. Done a lot of podcasts. So definitely an interesting twist angle to it, and just beautiful to have people all on there in alignment with being of service and being in a giving nature. I always tell people my life and career as an agent is what I do. But what matters the most is how much I give and how many lives I'm able to touch and change. And in my situation, save, because obviously mental health and substance abuse is at an all-time high.
Amen. Yeah. Well, thank you, brother. And as somebody who's never had that challenge personally, but has certainly affected people around me and in my family, I appreciate so deeply everything that you do. And thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bill Reed, who had some other amazing friends.
We definitely have some amazing friends. We have a friend that's keeping California sober-ish. But David, thank you. Yes, thank you for being here. Absolutely phenomenal job, man of impact for sure. And how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
I am very pleased to have lost my unblinded virginity today. I think it was a lot of fun. I'm going to adopt some of this role play stuff in my private life, which could be fun. Yeah. And I think, there's an opportunity to be really impactful and talking about what matters in building relationships. And I've always believed that the way you build a network is by making friends. And that's kind of the theme that's permeated this. And I've enjoyed it very much.
David, thanks for seeing us, brother. And when masters like yourself see and feel what this is, it touches our heart deeply, because that is the purpose, is how to integrous, masterful, heart-centered, growth-minded people come together to make this world greater. And clearly that's what you're doing and these folks are doing. And thank you, brother, for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for losing his virginity.
Losing his virginity. Yes, that was a first. Next up, the man that is going to put Sean Callagy in cannabis in Times Square. See it now. Dylan, great job in the participant seat. Not always an easy role, but how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
Oh, it was so much fun. And before this, I wanted to be a little prepped. So I did watch a couple episodes, and even with that, it's kind of like doing this live with you guys. It's still so different, like being a participant and just on spot thinking of what am I going to say and how it's all going to go. So first off, I appreciate you guys having me. And I genuinely believe that this is what the business world needs today, because I feel like you guys make business fun. And this is something that's missing from the business world. So thank you guys for doing all that you do.
Brother, received deep in our heart and fully aligned. And we talk about this distinction, Dylan, that people can play business or people usually do business. Maybe they pretend to have fun. They play business or they do business. But what if they could do business while we're playing? And having fun? And that's a huge piece. What if we could do both? So thank you for that, Dylan. And again, ditto and all the things I said. You're a master. We're clear. thank you for seeing us, and great job today. And that participancy, really outstanding.
And the man known for relentless drive and with a nickname like Ammo, I don't think you want to mess with him. But James, how was your time with us on The Heart of Influence?
It just hit me. It just hit me. Hollywood Squares of podcasts. You ever saw Hollywood Squares? Right?
Yes, sir.
I love that show when I was a kid watching that.
Amen, brother.
I thought this is a very unique platform. I didn't watch any episodes. I spoke to Andrea about this, but I like to go in a little cold, so there's more, a little bam to it. So I thought it was a great experience. It kind of a unique thing where it takes the edge off you when you have a panel and you can hear different people's, and I got to tell you, I've taken away some tangential things from listening to people speak. You do these, you realize we all like to talk. Like Darren said earlier, listening is a tremendous skill that is almost gone because of, I feel like, all the social media. We got to be good listeners. So I thought it was great. I got a lot out of it, and it was a real privilege and an honor. Great group of experts.
Yeah. And James, we would love to listen to your stories, your mastery, because, and we mean this very sincerely, whenever anybody achieves levels like you have at anything, it took mastery to get there. And when masters come together, incredible things can happen. It can be translated in so many different ways. And we are very present to what you've done. And I would love to hear a whole bunch of Asian martial art competition stories and all of it, plus all of your business success. So James, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Andrea Catania, Allison Armstrong, thank you so much. Andrea, quick final. Please, you caused the coming together for the folks that are here today. And you do this, Andrea, so much. This is how you've taken companies public and created all these beautiful things that are happening. And Andrea, we didn't say in her bio, is the co-chair now of the National Investment Banking Association. They call her the Queen of NIBA as one of her titles. And Andrea, thank you. And please, your final.
I have chills, and it brings tears to my eyes to hear how many of these incredible people recognize how important listening, leaning in, sharing and opening your hearts, and living in integrity, and giving more than you expect to receive in return. Hearing that feedback warms my heart, and it makes me 100% certain that stepping into this role of growing and expanding this incredible platform was the best decision I could have ever made. So thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Andrea. And we are aligned as well. Philosopher, heart-centered, impact player, may or may not have not had a bathing suit in Long Beach Island and stripped down to her underwear and went in the ocean. Maybe, who knows? Allison Armstrong, please. Thank you for everything you do. Your final on this experience today.
And real quick, before you guys do final, I'm going to exit and go kick off our other show and leave it to you guys in the green room for our next show. So Allison and everyone, fantastic to meet you all. And I'll turn it over to you guys.
Thank you, Bella Maria.
Yes.
Great job, Bella.
Well, what Sean didn't say is that he said we had the beach to ourselves, and he's a blind man. And my underwear, I'm 64 years old. My underwear is bigger than most by a lot, right? And then I found out later that as I took off my shirt, took off my pants, ran into the water in my underwear, a family with children was approaching from the strand. Oh yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. Okay, so what I want to say is I get to read the bios ahead of time. And I was blown away reading about each of you. And then to get to be with you in person, oh my gosh, like heart swelling. Thank you for who you are. Andrea, thank you for taking us from What's My Line to Hollywood Squares. We used to not know who was being introduced until today with you guys being spotlighted. So we got to connect everything, and that was awesome. Sean, please tell Bella, thank you for letting me make up the game for you. That was the best. That was the best to get to do that. Anytime Sean wants me to do that again, I would.
Allison, done. We love you. We appreciate you. Everybody went a couple minutes over and how precious all of your time is. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everyone. And we have a number of different things to do together. There's some links in the chat, but most importantly, very sophisticated people. We do have the Allison webinar. It will be profoundly impactful. And yes, of course, I want to develop business and do things, but the value we have committed to bringing, Allison is a master, the precision, the intention. Tell us, have you ever seen a webinar that was free that creates more value? So be curious about your perspectives on that. And in final, we do have a business or mission acceleration session. We are clear on who you are, where you come from, all the beautiful things. This is not something to like, push you into something that you don't want. But with one of our teammates, one of my co-founders, guaranteed, even with all the mastery present, we can unlock some things as our gift to you. Also, nothing is going to be pushed upon you. We just want to continue to develop a relationship and continue to add value. Final, and every show by saying this: I may be physically blind, which I am, because people are like, dude, you don't look blind. I'm blind. I can't see anything in front of me. But I am absolutely certain as to the possibilities that sit right in front of all of us for the accelerations, the impact we all want to create in the world. It so often sits right here, but at some level, Allison, Andrea, and everyone, at some level, we are all blind
and learning to see.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Great job, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Great time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoyed
Thank you.
that. Thank you.